doing?
Wonder if we have a little practical light we could use too.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
And we'll start off with me taking photos of you, and it will transition to a shot where it's flipped and you're taking photos of me.
What I've got here is the new Sumo19 from Atomos. And this is an interesting product. It's their largest monitor to date. I'm already deeply invested in these Atomos recorders. I have 3 of them on my cart, and I use them to record so that I can have an instant review of what I'm doing as I work my way through a scene. This particular unit goes one further in that it will do single, dual, and quad recording in SDI. On my sets these days, I'm required to shoot RED cameras sometimes, or Vericams. All of these files can be recorded on this particular recorder monitor setup. And quite often we're using smaller formats like this GH5. We can tuck them into tight places, 10-bit HDMI out of this camera into here. Everything fits on this drive, and this is what allows you to generate dailies instantly, simultaneously, that you can hand off to post. Of course, it's all touchscreen as well. So I tap this, go back into my files, and I double tap it and it plays. And then I can tap it again and I get my scroll and I can scroll through the file. This is tremendous help for reviewing on set. And interesting to me, from my point of view, it's also HDR. Whether we like it or not, HDR is becoming the new thing. And we have to learn to analyze it and how to make it behave while we're shooting and lighting. What we get here is we get a good sense of where the highlights lie and where the shadows fall while we're actually lighting. What you would do, even in playback here, I have the opportunity to do this. I simply open it and I ask it to show me the AtomHDR. You can see how much more brightness I got out of this. This is suggestive of a stop Rec 709 setting, but as I move the slider towards the right here, it changes how much I can actually examine in the highlights and how much I'm going to see here. I found that working at around 400% gave me a nice information level about where my highlights were and where my blacks were. So this is what I was looking at when we rolled. This particular file is being shown in Rec 709, but you can see by using the slider here, I can change it and how the background now comes in because it's on the file, but I get a chance to actually look at it. So that's all the way to the right. There's information in here that I could bring out easily and resolve. But I'm aware that I've done a good job on the highlight details here and I don't have any problems to worry about. You can see that the backgrounds are they're not necessarily clipping, they're just probably on the verge of clipping. But there's all the information there, and this would be a good exposure that I would probably achieve in the lab easily. It has a brain big enough to not only accommodate the HDR, but also custom looks. So you can in fact create LUT looks and you can embed them in here and you can name them and carry them inside the library to more accurately reflect the particular camera you're using. One added advantage of the Sumo19 is that it is a high brightness screen, 1200 nits, so even in a bright sunny day, it's quite easy to evaluate the image. You can see it quite clearly, you don't need to flag it and put it in a dark tint. So this particular package is well machined and made, very easy to mount, block batteries on the back, Teradeks or tilters, and I think they've done a great job on the ergonomics of it and the ease of use. There are in fact mounting screws here, quarter 20, 2 quarter 20s and a 3/8/16 here, and also on the bottom in the same place. So all the way around you've got the ability to, well, there's some on the sides as well. There's one on this side and there's probably one on the bottom here, 2 on here. So that's how we've been able to monitor, to mount this small transmitter. So it has 2 fans in here for cooling, and this particular girl here is a loudspeaker. which you can hear it quite well. There's a headphone jack and a mini headphone jack in the back here as well. This particular monitor was a joy to use. It's very simple. It emulates all of the control functions that I have on my Inferno and my Flame. And this is just a big brother that does even more. And I get a much bigger picture to evaluate the finer detail in my frames.
Yes, more skin. More skin. Wood.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.